Good afternoon, my friends. This is Paul, and this is my official video re-review of Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. So, as I stated in my original review, I have played both the Wii U version, Hyrule Warriors, and its 3DS remake, Hyrule Warriors Legends, to death. So this is my third time around with Hyrule Warriors. Yes, I must be crazy, but that's how much I love this franchise. Now, the question is, are you willing to be crazy enough like me and buy this game 3 separate times on 3 separate Nintendo systems? Well, that's what I'm here to answer. So first off, let me just state the obvious. Pretty much the only stuff new here are the new Breath of the Wild costumes for Link and Zelda. You can see Link in his champion's tunic and without his hat, and Zelda has her research outfit on. All of the features that were taken out of Hyrule Warriors Legends, such as being able to select your own music for a scenario, as well as the mode where you can control Ganon and smash all the enemies on the screen, and the 8-bit weapons have all returned. And all of the additions that Hyrule Warriors Legends brought to the table are here too, including switching between characters, the 2 new items, which would be the hammer and the ocarina, which lets you warp between statues, which gets rid of a lot of the wandering around like crazy in the Wii U version, and being able to switch between characters with the press of a button. Now, in case you haven't played a Hyrule Warriors game and you're thinking, what the heck is going on here? Basically, you're a 1 to 2 person army taking on a bunch of smaller enemies that struggle to even land a hit on you. It's very repetitious combat, but yet feels surprisingly entertaining because, well, Legend of Zelda characters are in it. This is essentially Dynasty Warriors gameplay with Zelda characters. So you have to take over keeps, which are enclosed areas, where if you defeat enough enemies and then defeat the boss, then it'll stop enemies from streaming from the keep, and then you'll get your soldiers instead, which can definitely turn the tide of the battle, and sometimes it's required to take keeps just for the sake of it. If your allied base gets defeated, then you lose. Typically, in order to win a battle, you have to eventually make it to the enemy commander. Combos are ridiculously easy to pull off by these types of games as standards. Pretty much everything can be mapped to 2 buttons. Then there's also a special attack button, and pressing in on the right control stick lets you create a force field if you have a fairy companion. Now, I'd like to make an amendment. If any of you did watch my original review of this, I initially did not know how to get the My Fairy mode started, but I finally figured out how to do it. You basically have to go through adventure mode until you find a scenario that says that it has a fairy, and then find it within one of the pots. And then once you find fairy food, which is also hidden in pots, then you'll be able to find fairy food regularly if you have the right weapon, or if you just happen to find it dropped by an enemy. So it takes patience, and you have to go in the adventure mode first, but you can eventually do it. So what is My Fairy mode, in case you've only played the Wii U version? Well, as it suggests, you can have your own fairy, you can nurture it, feed it food, teach it special skills that can add to your already impressive repertoire, and you can also dress up the fairy, which affects its stats, and you can also change the fairy's personality depending on what food you give it. So you can essentially create your own avatar, but they're also useful in battle with the special abilities and the force field, which can obliterate about hundreds of enemies at a time if you know how to use it. It definitely helps in those adventure mode rankings where you might do really good, but then they say you didn't kill enough enemies. Well, the fairies will definitely add to that. Adventure mode is basically a retro-themed walk through various maps that are pixelated versions of familiar Zelda locations. Now, the first one you do is an exact recreation of the original Legend of Zelda map. You can even find the same secrets in that game using your knowledge, or if you don't know, then just use a compass. All of the adventure modes are unlocked from the start, so you won't have to unlock any maps like you did in Legends, including all of the DLC maps, which have pixelated 8-bit versions of classic Zelda tunes. You can get items that'll help you search for hidden rewards and new pathways, and each map has its own set of special rules, except for like the first one. that make it even more fun to progress through the scenarios. Granted, the adventure mode gets even more repetitive than the main campaign, but it's still really addicting because it's one of the fastest ways to upgrade the myriad of characters you get. And you can also unlock new costumes for the characters, a lot of which are incredible nods of fan service. Like, you can get an outfit for Link that dresses him up like he was in Twilight Princess, which is one of my personal favorite designs. And you can also get stuff like upgraded weapons. The horse that Link is riding, for example, is one of an unlockable weapon that he can get. And overall, it's just a huge time sinker that's going to be in pretty heavy competition with the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as far as how long you're going to be able to keep a game in your Switch before you put it down. Unfortunately, if you're not the kind of fan of repetitive hack-and-slash gameplay, you're probably not going to like Hyrule Warriors. But in case you did, either on the Wii U or the 3DS, you might be asking, is it worth rebuying? My answer is only if you're a die-hard fan of Hyrule Warriors and you really want to experience what Legends brought to the table, which was the definitive version before this one, but you say had an old 3DS and so you had to suffer with the 15 to 20 frames per second and you want to see everything in its smooth HD glory. Otherwise, I would say if you played Legends on a new 3DS and don't really care about the added graphical fidelity that the Switch version offers, I say you can safely skip it. That's not to say this is a bad game, because it is an incredible game for fans of the genre, but it's probably not worth a second or a third repurchase if you're kind of tired of the genre. Personally, though, I would recommend this over Fire Emblem Warriors, even though I am a diehard Fire Emblem fan, but that's just me. Your opinion may differ. Either way, this is the type of Nintendo Switch game that is absolutely perfect for long car rides and train rides because there's just so much to do, and I highly doubt you'll be able to complete this game, probably even if you play it nonstop for like a year. It'll be very, very hard to say. With that, thank you very much for listening to my review. If there's anything I left out, please let me know in the comments section. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and don't try to do this at home. You'll fail. Bye.